There have been several calls and orders for Nnamdi Kanu's release. For instance, the United Nations had asked the Nigerian government to immediately release Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally and pay him adequate compensations for the arbitrary violation of his fundamental human rights. In fact, several elders, just like you said, from the southeast met with the government of Buhari, but this didn't yield any results. Are there any indications, looking at the current situation, are there any indications that this current administration might do anything different from the Buhari regime regarding Nnamdi Kanu's case?
It's difficult to say with finality because, political leaders are influenced most of the time by people around them. I would want Nnamdi Kanu released with conditions. And if he agrees to those conditions, why not let him go? This is my position. But the way I feel may not be how the National Security Advisor feels. The way I feel may not be how the service chiefs feel. The way I feel may not be how the ministers and some of the kitchen cabinet, members of the kitchen cabinet of the president feel. But I remember vividly that in the course of his campaign in the Southeast, Mr. President promised to explore opportunities for peace between the agitators for Biafra in the Southeast. He said clearly that he will explore a negotiated peace between agitators in this with agitators in the Southeast. I remember clearly. So if the president said that at that time that he would explore amicable or peaceful resolution of the crisis in the Southeast by talking to the agitators, I still think that it's a possibility that the president may be thinking along that line. But between when he was campaigning and now that he's president, perhaps he has seen a few things that may have made him to change his mind. So I can't say at this point that what the president said during the campaign,
that's right,
he will be eager to do it.
That's right.
It may the security report may point to some dangers involved that could result from him making good that promise. The people around him may be opposed to it, and he may be willing to listen to so because if he releases Nnamdi Kanu and things go wrong, and he does not achieve anything from the release, the blowback will be bad, and people will blame him. If things degenerate, people will say, "Oh, he's taking a very bad decision." But for me, in most conflicts, the protagonists often end up around at a round table where these issues can then be permanently resolved. I've given examples in the past, including even South Africa. The conflict between the ANC and the Nkata Freedom Party when they were beheading one another, setting one another ablaze. Eventually, a political settlement came and the killings stopped immediately. So these things happen. There are times when you just have to realize that court action may not bring peace.
That's right.
And you can pursue peace through other means. So I don't know whether the president will agree to this.
Right.
President Buhari was also appealed to by the late Mbazulike Amechi to release Nnamdi Kanu, and he promised him that he will handle the situation, he will ensure that Nnamdi Kanu behaved himself. but President Buhari didn't release Nnamdi Kanu. He said that the trial should continue, that it was not in his hands, that the case was already in court. But we know that even if a case is in court, the president can order the Attorney General of the Federation to go and terminate the prosecution. It happens. We saw President Tinubu, President Obasanjo use that power in the past. You know, so
that's right.
If we are talking about political decision, this one is a case that has already been politicized, and a president may decide that, okay, in the interest of harmony, in the interest of peace in the Southeast, let's have this person released. After all, Obafemi was in prison, you know, jailed, accused of treason, and the Gawan regime released him and even made him a minister. So it's possible for the president to.
That's right.
Seeing that Nnamdi Kanu appears to be remorseful now, or be showing signs of remorse.
Yeah.
Take a good look at the matter and say, okay, let's leave this man alone.
That's right.
At 56, a man will feel that, look, age is catching up with him, and that some level of rascality associated with youth is not meant for someone like him. So I really want this opportunity for negotiated settlement to be explored. It is my wish to see that happen.